food forest update and renovation. Peace and blessing, guys. I was chopping up some bamboo because we are in the process of building a bamboo trellis. Well, actually it's going to be a like a living canopy that we're going to try to create. And at the entrance, guys, I plan to cover this one the same way as I did this one over here. Yeah, we want to create some natural shade because when Michael came, Hurricane Michael, it knocked down all of our trees. So we're starting fresh with baby fruit trees, very immature. Some are producing fruit for the first time this year. So I'll take you guys along with the walk through with me on an update. I told you guys I will update you on the food forest. I still have to do a lot more planting, and I'll take you guys along with me as I transplant some things. Here we have onions that are growing in a pot. I literally just had some onion sets at the beginning of fall, and we stuck them in the ground, and they're growing. I'm not sure how large these bulbs will get here, but they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good. I have some planted inside of the ground as well, but I wanted to see what we could do, possibly produce, inside of a pot. Now, mind you, I haven't did much maintenance to this right here. Definitely is in need of some nutrients. So I will be fertilizing these right here. And guys, I still have to plant my moringa out, which came back. It came back from last year. Died off in the winter, and now it's springing back up for us, little moringa. And I'll take you guys along with me while I transplant this. Here we have our basil. Some more woolly lamb's ear right here, guys. And we're just allowing this mint to take over. It's peppermint. I plan to right here allow our scarlet runner beans, which have just sprouted up, to trellis all the way up this bamboo pole here and along the other ones that I'm going to attach all the way around. So eventually, as time progresses, guys, this entire walkway will be covered with food. That is the goal, to create some natural shade for my annuals, and also so you can just eat food everywhere, right? That's the goal. But here's the scarlet runner beans. They're looking pretty good, and we have those planted in several locations. Here's another one over here. So first, I'll just take you over here to the fruit tree side. We have fruit trees on both sides, but more of the elderberry orchard. Here's our kumquat that we recently put in the ground. The pumpkins that I was mentioning that just started sprouting up, I transplanted one over here, and it's still doing quite well, guys. I don't know if you can see it. Let me get out of your light. There you are. And I just gave it some sea kelp fertilizer, mixed it in with some water, and fertilized it before the sun rose this morning. And let's see here what we have here, guys. Oh yeah, the mulberry is still coming back very nicely. We recently put in some blackberry bush here. Hopes to let this trellis up. There. Zoom in so you can see that. And right back there, guys, we have an olive tree that we had from last year. And right next to it, some wild bergamot, which smells amazing. And next to that, guys, we have another elderberry, still doing wonderful. Still doing wonderful. And I know you guys remember the lime. I told you that. Got hit by the frost and that it was coming back. When I first showed you that these were tiny, tiny little shoots coming off. But now they are getting some length to them. This is our lime. Key lime to be exact. And right next to that is the other elderberry, along with some tarragon. So this is our elderberry, and then the tarragon is right there, which is a perennial. It comes back year after year, guys. Walk along, see what else we have. Tree collards are still doing pretty good. They are definitely taking off slow. I don't know if it's this variety because I do fertilize them, but this is my first time growing the purple tree collard, so we'll see what happens. All right, we're walking along. The echinacea is still going good. This was planted, like I said again, last fall. Still going good. We put some watermelon, cleared off this stump a little bit. Still have to clear off quite a bit, but I needed to get this in the ground. So we have watermelon right there, guys. And fig. And remind you, these are replacing a lot of the trees that were back here that Hurricane Michael tore down. These are just the larger stumps that were here. This one right here, that one over here, and this one. There were several other smaller trees that was just uprooted. And guys, here we have more anise hyssop. I make sure I always keep anise hyssop for colds and flu. It just makes a wonderful tea, you know. It's very flavorful, almost like a licorice flavor. Of course, we can't have our food forest without the comfrey and the yarrow going next to one another. We have some spaghetti squash here, guys. And right next to it, another scarlet runner bean, which is a perennial bean. Let's take a look at these blueberries, see what they have going on. Let's see here. Yep, they are starting to form, guys. I don't know if you can see, but we have tiny little blueberries coming on this bush here. There they are. Tiny little blueberries. And we just transplanted this from the pot we had grew it in last season. And it's important to have two blueberry bushes, preferably different varieties, in order for them to pollinate and have a high yield for you guys. Let's see here. There they are. And again, it will start off to flower, and then the flowers will drop off or dry and produce like this one right here, guys. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to focus this in for you. There. Do you see these other white flowers? And then you see this one right here that is started to dry. And the blueberry is actually forming behind it. Right there. They were tasty last year, so ooh, thumbs up, praying for same results this year. And there are more over here. I'm sorry, I just scared away a little pollinator. Right, guys, right here behind our two blueberry bushes, we have a banana. This is supposed to be a dwarf variety, so it won't get no larger than 10 feet, or it's not supposed to anyways. Our peaches are coming back. Praying for blooms this season. And here's another watermelon that we're going to allow to just run throughout the food forest, create some natural shade for the soil. And the other elderberry back here is still doing nicely, guys. It's growing. In fact, I think I can transplant some of these, divide them up and then transplant them. It's just growing all over the place. Here are our Egyptian walking onions. And they are beautiful. Definitely are going to have to supplement with some shade cloth. I can see that now because we get overhead sun for the majority of the day and it's just beaming down on the crops. So until our overstory trees like our mulberries get larger, I'm going to have to provide a temporary trellis here to cast shade upon my eggplants. Not too much shade, but just enough, a little bit, probably 30% shade cloth, so that way some sun can still get through to them. And the oregano here is doing a very good job with keeping the pest off of our collard greens, as well as the eggplant. Let's come take a look at these grapes, guys. Our Concord grapes are starting to form. When I showed you guys before, they were just little pink little buds, but now they are forming into beautiful little clusters. There they are. Let's see if I can get a closer, like there. So we have two here, one, actually three coming. Yeah, so that's that. And on this one, guys, there's more. Oh, turnip lasted all winter. I could still eat the tops, so I just left it in the ground. My little peppers right here are slow growing. I did transplant them a lot sooner than I probably should have, because we got hit with some cold weather. Oh, and my chayote did not make it, guys. It did not make it. But I am going to get back up again and go back to the drawing board. And next time around, I will not transplant it as soon as I did. As early as I did, I'll wait a little later before our, till our frost, our last frost, because we got hit with some unexpected cold weather. And I think that's what took it on out. But guys, still give it a try, because you may have greater success than I did, because I'm sure going to try again myself. These are our peppers. They're doing good. Peas are still doing great. And the garlic is still growing. This right here is our elephant garlic, and it is still growing very, very nicely. Next to it, I have a banana tree. This one is a regular banana, which will get very tall. So I'm going to use it as an overstory. And over here, guys, we have a few persimmon tree. And it is already starting to bloom, as you can see here. So we'll have some persimmons to snack on. It's kind of loaded too. There they are. And there's one just starting to open up. But these will produce the persimmon fruit. And I just fertilized this with my regular citrus tone, organic. And this is our potato bed, guys. Over here we have our sweet potatoes that we're going to allow to just run along the bed. And on this side we have other potatoes. We have fingerling, some Yukon Gold, red potatoes planted on this side over here. And I'm going to actually plant some marigolds on each corner of the bed. This mulberry is still doing great. Mulberry tree here, I still cannot find the mulberry that I saw on here. I saw a mulberry and I got so excited because I was like, yay, you're producing. I'm trying to find it here. When I find it, I'll take a picture and I'll let you guys know. So the artichokes are growing. This thing here can get very large, you know, can be 3 to 5 feet wide, guys. It's equally as tall. And now we're over here to the monocropping section. Peas, here's the update on the peas. They're growing, definitely putting on their foliage. Okra's growing. We have more pepper here. This is a lemon lunchbox, kind of like a sweet pepper. We have another dwarf banana right here, guys. Again, creating shade. We have some hibiscus, roselle hibiscus. Another mulberry here. And the fence line, we're gonna try to make it where it just encloses the entire food forest, because I want to plant all types of vining, berry bushes, muscadines, scuffalines, things like that. Just to have a living wall, a living fence. And right here, we have more blackberries, guys. That's going to run up this trellis that's provided for it. And they're already producing fruit. See if I can get closer, take you guys in to see some of the fruits. Here they are, right there. My little plum is still holding on. There it is. First year we've gotten fruit off of the plum tree. So, right next to the plum, we have here another scarlet runner bean. Which, guys, the scarlet runner bean is like half an inch. So I planted, the rule of thumb, you want to kind of go twice the size of what you're planting. That's what some plants, some seeds actually. And I did that with the scarlet runner beans and they've all come up. Right next to it is another one right here. And this one has come up. And we do plan to allow this one here to trellis going this way, and this other one will have trellis going that way. Okay, now I'm at the tomato beds. They're growing nicely. And again, next to it, we have another scarlet runner bean to trellis up these vines until my grapevines come back to life. I transplanted these and they went through a little bit of root shock, but the vines, they're still living. So prayerfully they will produce new leaves next year, next season. But the tomatoes are growing nicely, quite well. Here we are. I'm trying to see if I have some suckers. Yes, we have some suckers. So guys, I'm trying this year to allow my tomato plants to kind of grow up. I plan to do the Florida weave trellis, and I'll show you guys what that looks like whenever I install it. But it's actually going to allow my tomatoes to grow upright and keep them standing straight. So my goal is to remove the suckers. So you will have a main branch here, and then there's a sucker, which if it's not picked off, it's going to suck life out of this plant and begin to branch off as well. And I really don't want that. I want to focus on producing fruit instead of a lot of green foliage. I don't want a lot, so I will remove that sucker here. And let me see if yep, here's another one. I'm going to remove that one. And I'm going to go through and just do the same for all of them. And this is just pruning. Here's a sucker coming up right here. This is my main stem, and this is a sucker. So I'm going to remove that sucker. So again, it can focus on growing and producing more fruit. And I'm also going to remove these that's on the very bottom. And guys, I'm working with one hand here, so bear with me. Try to be as steady as I can for you guys. And here's another one. There's another sucker right there. So I'm taking that off. And this is going good as well. These are from seed that we started. And they are growing, thriving. The basil planted here. I mean, who doesn't love tomato and basil? I know I do. Here we have a pawpaw that is coming back from last season. We have this in a pot. So just put some fertilizer down, some mulch, and I'll show you whenever I transplant my moringa. I like to layer it to keep the moisture inside of the soil. So I would put some old grass down there, some wood chips, fertilizer, soil, and just mix it all in. And therefore I have a nice area down deep within to hold that moisture in whenever I water my plants. And I'm also going to heavily mulch the top. As you can see, I'm beginning to. Here is fig. And along this front fence line, guys, I have another cucumber plant here, as well as scarlet runner bean. And there is another cucumber. So hopefully these will be able to trellis right on up and grab hold to this bamboo fence and provide some shade and a living wall, which is the goal. Here is grapevine here, guys. And I just have a bush bean growing beside it because this is, again, food forage. So the idea is to have food growing everywhere, but still within somewhat of a system. So here are beans. That's a bush variety. And here, guys, the corn is still growing stronger and stronger. This is our sweet corn. And our Seminole pumpkins are growing. And I also have some beans. This is the Three Sisters section. Let me get up. This is the Three Sisters section. It's an old Native American planting system where you will plant your corn, your squash, and your beans together. So your beans will be able to trellis up your corn stalks, while your Seminole pumpkin squash can provide some shade for the soil. And everything works together. It's a system that just has been proven to work time and time again. And this is my first year trying it. So I'm going to take you guys on this journey right along with me to see the outcome. Hopefully by the end of the season, we'll be having a great harvest. But yeah, these are the Seminole pumpkins that I have planted along here. And I will allow them to just run. And here I have potatoes in this bed as well. I'm waiting on my straw that I'm going to put over my potatoes. And guys, I just put this into the ground maybe, I'll say a week ago. And we're already starting to get some potato sprouts to come up. There they are, the leaves right there. And there's another one, guys. And these are our little pea-wee potatoes and the finger-long potatoes, which are very delicious. And they come in a variety of colors. I thought I saw another one over here. That's why I walked this way. Maybe I need to get back to the other angle. But they are starting to penetrate the soil. Oh, here we are. See if I can get it for you guys there. Here's the other one. And the thing about potatoes, there's several different ways that you can plant them. I actually have more to put in the ground, but I'm going to do them in pots just to show you guys that you can grow potatoes in pots as well. Here's a pollinator right there on the board. But yes, when your potatoes shoots start to grow, you want to what they call hill them up, which you would essentially put more soil on the shoots, and that will produce more potatoes for you. Or you can grow them straight in straw hay. I've seen several videos where people have just did like a no dig. They bought some bales of hay and they dropped the potatoes inside, guys, and then they covered it back up with the hay. And the next time they went to harvest, literally the next time, because there was no need to water, there was no need to do anything, because you got all the nutrients as well as the moisture from that hay that they were buried in. It was just easy for them to harvest. They simply pulled the hay back and got the potatoes up. Very easy, low maintenance, and very practical. Very, very, very practical. So that's why you still see my hills dug right here, because I'm going to layer it with some hay on top. Or you can do grass clippings, and it's going to get nutrients right from the grass clippings. Right here, we need to harvest some of these cayenne peppers. Right there. And I pruned the top out of these, guys, because I want my pepper bushes to actually be a bush. Instead of so tall and leggy, I want it to bush out. Like this one right here, I had to prune it. So I took the top out, but I left these leaves. So hopefully it will produce branches instead of just growing very, very tall. It can be easily blown over by wind if you don't prune it back. So keep that in mind if you are going to grow peppers. guys, this is it. This is the update to the food forest. The echinacea is starting to grow tall, so we are definitely hoping for some purple cones to develop. Even though myself personally, I love to harvest the roots for medicinal purposes. But my pollinators love the purple cones that the echinacea produce. And the mullein is still growing. Look at it. I'm so thankful for this. Another medicinal plant. And if you need to, you can use this for toilet tissue if you have to in a situation, but it's so soft. I love mullein. Very, very, very soft. It's almost like a cloth. It's very soft. So sorry for the lengthy video. I did want to give you guys an update on what we have growing so far. I am going to get some wood chips brought in to kind of section more areas off. Oh, back here, I didn't even show you guys the stinging nettle. I have to go show you the stinging nettles right after I show you the dewberries, the wild dewberries. They're just growing, so I didn't pull them up. Here's an update on that, because I don't believe they were producing berries yet. I don't think they were at that stage. But here they are. And a lot of you guys may know this from childhood, running through the bramble patch, getting stuck by the thorns. But hey, they produce very delicious berries, so I don't mind. Okay, let me come over here. And here we have some holy basil. This is holy basil here. And our perennial hibiscus has come back. So happy for that. And I'll take you over here to where the stinging nettle is. Which we have loads of stinging nettle. I'm not going to touch it. Yes, I am. I'm not getting stung though. But this is stinging nettle. And this whole entire area is stinging nettle. I make teas out of stinging nettle. It's a nutritional green. You can eat it cooked or raw. But if you do eat it raw, guys, there's a certain way you have to handle it and roll it up, and then you can eat it, because you will get stung if you don't handle it properly. But to be on the safe side, just use gloves. Use gloves. You can make tea out of stinging nettle, or you can cook it up as a pot herb. And some people have even made textiles from it. They've actually made fabric from the stinging nettle. The stalks. Yep, just got stung. But it's okay, because they used to use it in ancient medicine for arthritis and nerve pain. Here's more stinging nettle. And again, like I mentioned, we're trying to create like a natural ecosystem back here. Food forest. So you would mimic what a natural forest would look like. And stinging nettle, it grows, it loves shade. So we have the elderberry planted next to it. So hopefully that will grow on up. And then on the other side of the stinging nettle bed, we also have another elderberry, which is right there. And yeah, guys, this is update to the food forest. Everything is just really blending in now because, like I mentioned, the trees are quite immature, but they will grow up and branch out. And we will have a natural system growing back here. More elderberry. And right here, amongst the dewberries and the Egyptian walking onions, is another elderberry. So stay tuned, guys. And I'll update you guys again in 2 weeks on the food forest. Hopefully by then, not hopefully, I will. Gotta start speaking it. I will have more of the walkway built. So stay tuned. You guys stay healthy, happy, and safe out there. And I'll check you guys out in a bit. Peace and blessings.